Okay, today I'm talking about parents and adults in general who seem to be envious or jealous of, the younger generation, their own sons and daughters for whatever reason. It's like they just have this whole self-sabotage mentality when it comes to steering their children in the right direction. And I think it stems from them not achieving what they've wanted in the past. They never have any recent milestones, no any recent wins. When sometimes their last glory story was when they were in college, something like that. And then they take it out on their children, feeling that their children took some of their freedoms away. They had to put things on hold, had to sacrifice, put a trip on hold, put going back to change careers on hold, put starting a business on hold, all because time and resources had to go to their child. And so they see themselves in their child. And then as the child gets older, in 16, 17, 18, and really trying to see, okay, what path do I go in life in terms of being a productive adult, the parents don't necessarily give them all of the game, all of the tips, all of the advice. They may even omit some things, leave it out on purpose, just so their own child can make those same mistakes. Whereas, as we know, hindsight is 2020. Your mom and dad, or just some older person, has went through it already, and they can actually prevent you from having to make those same mistakes and actually get to the goal faster. It's still going to be hard work, but it's just certain things that younger people can avoid when they're able to get the right type of advice, especially from their own mother and father. But then when you have parents who remember back when they were at those crossroads at that age in their life, and they may have took a wrong turn, which caused things to be more difficult for them, instead of them allowing their own kids to leapfrog that situation and come out the gate already ahead. Just them being jealous, or I guess resentful of the potential that their child can have with being able to avoid some of those potholes that mom and dad hit. They just can't deal with it. To see them do better than them, even though that's what gener- generationally we're supposed to do, this generation does better than the last one. And so then when you have your own parents trying to self sabotage and just feel that you should go through the same pain points as they did for whatever reason, it's just mind blowing to me, how people can choose to be parents but don't want to see their children, the next generation, do even better, and where that's coming from. And everyone gets their turn, so you can't be sad you had your turn. And so you really shouldn't be leaving your kids out on an island like that if they coming to you for advice. And this includes just older people in general who may not have a mom and dad to turn to, so they go to an older woman or man. And these same adults see that same jealousy when it comes to seeing this younger person, and they don't want them to necessarily have it a little bit easier just by saying, hey, I did it this way and didn't quite work out. I see where you're trying to go. uh, Here's a bit of an easier path. And so you have that whole logic going on. And so it's just being envious of your own son or daughter is, it's crazy to me. And I don't know if any of you may be parents and you're showing off of these characteristics and don't really realize it, or did you have parents that were like that towards you? Either or. And I'm gonna get into some of the signs here of what can show signs of a parent that's jealous, envious. So we'll get right into it. So you got number one, uses their life through their own child's life, living vicariously through their kid. They trying to get their kid to be that doctor or that lawyer or that athlete, or that musician or that actor that they wanted to be, but feels they couldn't do it because of their own child and they have to sacrifice and put off things for them. And so, they'll try and push their children into a career path that the child doesn't even want. And then you get children who go to school for certain things and come out miserable because that was never the plan all along. They just did it because mom said it or dad said it. You even had children that pledged in fraternities and sororities because their mom and their dad did, and that wasn't really their thing, but they trying to make them proud. So this really goes under that living their lives through their child, and you know that causes problems. And then we're moving along, marginalization, where they just try and make their child feel small, put them in a box. We keep going, grandiosity and superiority, a superficial image of their own selves. These are just things that parents who are jealous of their children do. Manipulation, of course, and being inflexible and touchy, lack of empathy. So, you fall on hard times or you make a mistake, uh, your parent actually gets some type of satisfying reaction out of that. So they don't even try and, help you out. Dependency, codependency, and finally, we have jealousy and possessiveness and neglect. And that's a big one where you kind of just shun your own child based on whatever they're doing because you just feel that, hey, it should have been me, not them, or why didn't I get to that particular pedestal? And it's just, it's crazy and sad at the same time, with the way certain parents can be towards their own children and not wanting them to excel to certain heights because they felt that their own children robbed them of their chance to go where they felt they should be at in life at this particular point. I want to play a video of a lady who goes a little bit more in depth about jealous parents. Fair use, YouTube, fair use.
Why would your parents be jealous of you? Your parents are the one that brought you into this world. They made you. Okay, you exist because of them, right? So it may be extremely hard to believe. Why is it that your parents are jealous of you? How could they be jealous? How could they be villainous to their own children, the ones that they created, the ones, the mother carried the baby, nursed, helped the baby, the dad, the mom, right? However the situation might be for you, right? They're hating on you. They're jealous of you now. What's up with that? What's going on with that? Right? You see, a lot of times parents feel like they fumbled and they messed up a lot when they were young parents, right? They probably felt like their lives were maybe stripped away, or perhaps, things happened to where they weren't able to be and do what they really wanted to do because they had to raise little ones, right? And so maybe they had a cumbersome, hard life raising you, maybe raising you and your siblings, whatever your situation is. And so now it might perturb your parents a little bit when they see that their child, who's an adult.
So I'm going to stop it there. And she brought up some points just about same things that I was kind of saying earlier about, you know, children being younger and parents having to put off things and just not being able to go in the direction they wanted to go. And like she said, uh, parents are the reason the children are here. And so it's just not fair to the kids at all. And so you see a lot of people when they get older who've experienced this through jealous parents, jealous mother, jealous father, it can really have a certain type of effect on the child. Just going down a path that they necessarily didn't want to deal with, just to make mom and dad happy, and their mother and father, I guess, maybe get some sort of pleasure, guilty pleasure, out of seeing that child having to suffer somewhat or struggle a little bit where they didn't need to, just because the parents tried to push them in a certain direction, or just didn't give them all of the advice that they could have, just so they can, you know, come out the gate, ahead of their parents, which is how this is child raising is supposed to be. And then your child then does the same with your grandchild. We just keep getting better and better each generation, and being proud of your offspring. It shouldn't be any type of hate and resentment for children that you brought into this world. It just shouldn't be. And then adults in general, for the younger generation, try and find a way to send them off in a more rockier path when they're coming with advice to try and see, okay, how do I navigate things in this world and be happy, healthy adults. And I wonder how many of you out there listening, do you feel your parents kind of put you in a box, wasn't always supportive of you, or tried to push you into a path, a certain career that you really didn't want to go into? How many of you are in careers because your mom and dad felt that would be best for you, but you didn't do what's best for you? And how has that affected you? Or are you able to make a turn and get into the type of job that you actually want to do? Or are you still in the career that you didn't pick, your mom and dad picked? Because it can definitely, weigh on you to the point that, hopefully you don't, if you become a parent, or if you are a parent, you don't push that on your own kids, because you had to push it on you. And so now you repeating the cycle and becoming a narcissist yourself and jealous of your own kids. But yeah, it's definitely, it's not healthy. And parents, you still have parents that still need to grow up, basically. Something that you supposed to teach your child not to be, which is jealous, and how to deal with, if you don't have a certain thing that you want, how to work for it, and not just to sit around and be angry at the person that does have it. Here's how to achieve it and work towards it, and then you appreciate it more once you get it. That's the way things should be. That's the way it should flow. But you just have certain parents out here that just did not achieve, and they don't waste no time telling their kids or making them feel, whether it be directly or indirectly, that you're the reason for me not being where I'm supposed to be at. You've held me back. Your own son or your own daughter has held you back. And it's really just a sorry excuse for any mother or father that does this. But it's out there, and I'm sure it still continues to be. And let me know in the comments how you all feel about it. If you all went through this with your own parents, are you going through it right now? Doesn't matter the age. It's adults that are going through it with their now even older parents, still just never good enough for your mom or your dad, and they still try and marginalize you and keep you in a box the older you get. So let me know in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. And don't be a hating parent, be a loving parent, and push your kids forward. Until the next video, I'm out.